the emperor who erased his own name. The strange fall of Akhenaten in the sands of ancient Egypt. Beyond the glory of pyramids and the pride of pharaohs lies a story so buried, so forbidden, that even the gods were told to forget it. His name was Akhenaten, but history almost forgot he ever existed. He was a revolutionary, a dreamer, and perhaps a heretic. He wasn't just a king. Thousands of years ago, while the temples of Egypt echoed with praises to Amun-Ra and dozens of divine gods, one man dared to rise and say, "There is only one, not a human-shaped god with moods and rituals, but an unseen, all-encompassing source of life." Akhenaten declared that all gods were false except for Aten the sun disk. He didn't just change religion. He tried to rewrite the very soul of Egypt. The mighty city of Thebes, the heart of Egypt's old religion, was abandoned. But why? Something shifted. Some believe it was a vision. Others, a deep philosophical awakening. Whatever it was, Akhenaten saw the gods of Egypt not as divine beings, but as distractions. But then, one force, one divine truth, Aten, the sun itself. Why would a pharaoh, born with power and legacy, reject everything that came before him? Akhenaten's story begins, not in war, but in silence. His early reign was ordinary, even forgettable. Or a message. Some say he wanted to appear divine, beyond gender, beyond form. He spoke of one light. Scholars debate if this was a medical condition, a living bridge between heaven and earth, an entire capital uprooted. Together, they ruled not just as king and queen, but as twin reflections of the sun. Statues were smashed. Priests were stripped of power. A civilization's soul all because one man believed in a higher truth. And then, he acted. For 3,000 years, historians believed there was a gap in the royal lineage, a missing piece. It was only in the late 19th century that archaeologists began to uncover the lost city. And the lost king. The old gods returned like waves crashing back upon a forbidden shore. He ordered temples of other gods to be closed. In its place, he built a new city from nothing, Akhenaten horizon of the Atan. Others believe he was a prophet ahead of his time. Monotheism, the belief in one god, wouldn't become a dominant idea until centuries later. He was challenging power, centuries of priesthood, culture, and belief. When one soul dares to walk against the tide of an entire world, imagine that. But the people? They were not ready. Whispers began. Fear grew. Return to the gods of old. What if the gods grew angry? What if the Nile stopped flooding? Crops began to fail. Hunger crept in. His city fell to ruin. And in the silence of the old temples, the memory of Amun stirred like a ghost, and paid for it with his legacy. Akhenaten wasn't just challenging religion, and he didn't stop there. His art was different, unnatural. He ordered statues of himself with elongated skulls, wide hips, soft bellies, almost alien in appearance. He even elevated his wife, Nefertiti, to near-equal status. His name was originally Tutankhaten, servant of Aten, but under pressure from the priests, he changed it. He returned to Amun. But time is cruel to those who defy the order of things. After 17 years, Akhenaten vanished. His death wasn't marked with grandeur. His tomb, uncertain. His successors erased his name. And then there are those who walk into the fire, knowing they may never return. In Egypt, forgot him literally. His statues were his name chiseled out, his city buried under dust. But why? Why such rage? Why such erasure? Some say Akhenaten was mad, a delusional king who destabilized the empire. Was Akhenaten the first? Was he punished, not because he was wrong, but because he was early? His story is not just historical, it is deeply human. It's the story of what happens when truth confronts tradition, when vision threatens comfort. It is the price of conviction. And what a price it was. Even his own son Tutankhamun, known today as the famous boy king, was forced to abandon his father's faith, and in doing so, helped bury the revolution in silence. But history, like the desert, never forgets forever. As archaeologists unearthed Akhenaten's ruins, as statues and inscriptions emerged from the sand, the world glimpsed a forgotten moment. When a king dreamed of one God, one truth, one light, his story isn't just Egyptian. It is universal. It speaks of every whistleblower, every reformer, every soul that stood up and said, "No, I see the world differently." It is the tragedy of those who shine too bright in a world not ready for light. There's a quiet question Akhenaten's life leaves us with. Is it better to be remembered for conforming or forgotten for standing alone? Think about that. In every age, there are people who choose to burn quietly in the name of comfort. Maybe Akhenaten wasn't a heretic. Maybe he was free. And perhaps that is what frightened the world most. Not his beliefs, but his freedom to believe differently. Now ask yourself, what if we've been taught only half the truth?